world wasn't prepared for the bombshell that Sharon Osbourne just dropped. Australian Osbourne's surprising final remarks, his secret will, and the perverse reality of a covert marriage. Yes, everything is real and has now come to light. But the bit about how he intended to divide his whole fortune that left everyone stunned. And believe me when I say that one youngster was treated unfairly, what you're about to hear will forever alter your perception of the Osbourne family, so pay close attention. The Osbourne family, the wild rock and roll royalty who invited cameras into their chaotic house, laughed through scandals, and stood together through decades of grief and celebrity, were people who many of us believed we knew. But nobody could have predicted what Sharon Osbourne just disclosed, not even the fans who kept up with every news. Sharon revealed information she had vowed never to discuss in a very emotional moment. We are discussing Ozzy Osbourne's secret will, his last recorded comments prior to his death, and a secret marriage that only those in his close circle were aware of. Yes, exactly. In addition to financial secrets, the Osbournes are also being torn apart by his love life, secret plans, and startling family choices. How was Ozzy's estimated $220 million inheritance divided among his children, wife, and a supposed mystery woman? Who was disconnected? Why did Sharon suppress this fact for so long? The true reason for the concealment will surprise you. Additionally, wait to find out who is vying for Ozzy's legacy. This is when things start to become nasty, sad, and yes, even illegal. Let's begin. The Prince of Darkness wasn't the person the world knew on stage in the weeks before Ozzy Osbourne passed away. The larger-than-life swagger, the sharp tongue, and the outrageous antics were all gone. Rather, Ozzy had grown silent, introspective, and even a bit scared. According to Sharon, who was by his side every hour, Ozzy had unresolved business and knew the end was imminent. According to family members close to the Osbournes, Ozzy started pleading with folks he hadn't spoken to in decades for forgiveness. He even asked for private one-on-one sessions with Amy, Jack, and Kelly, his 3 children. And they were completely rocked by what he said in those last moments. "I've never seen anything so emotional in my life," Sharon said. According to reports, Ozzy sobbed as she spoke to Kelly, expressing regret for not being there for her in her lowest points. The most private of the Osbourne children, Amy, received a message that has since been sealed away in a handwritten letter that Ozzy requested not be opened until her next birthday. Jack, who had attempted to emulate his father through music and television, was reportedly told, "You're stronger than I ever was. Never forget that." But it was Ozzy's last words, which Sharon said through quivering lips, that really brought everyone to a halt. "Don't let them take it from you. You know who I mean." Sharon disclosed that during his last 48 hours, Ozzy continued to cling to a small, old photograph, one that wasn't of his children or her. No one knows exactly who he meant, but the rumors have taken over headlines. Was it about the money, his music rights, or a secret woman he feared would come forward? Everyone is whispering about this picture, which is currently in a sealed family vault. Was there someone else in Ozzy's life that we were unaware of? It wasn't just a farewell, it was a warning, a plea, a haunting final message that's still being unraveled. And that brings us to the shocking revelation. Just when everyone thought that Ozzy's death was over, Sharon Osbourne did the unimaginable. She disclosed that Ozzy had a second will which was completely different from the official one filed years prior, and was hidden in a red velvet box inside his personal recording studio. No one outside the family, not even their lawyers, had ever seen it. It was hand-signed and dated just weeks before his death. Sharon reportedly fell into a chair as soon as she opened that package, whispering again. He did it, according to a close source. What exactly was in this shocking document? First, the money. Ozzy's inheritance, worth over $220 million, was not divided equally as many people thought. I can't believe he actually did it. Kelly and Jack, who were always in the news, each received a sizable share, but Amy, the daughter who famously left the family's reality show and disassociated herself from the Osbourne brand, was said to have received a huge, unrivaled share. Why? Because, as Ozzy herself puts it, she remained loyal when no one else did. Then, however, things took a really crazy turn when Ozzy's will named another heir, a woman named Clarissa Dale, who the public has never heard of but who is rumored to have been a backup singer on his 1995 tour. Sharon reportedly screamed when she saw the name, and it turns out that Clarissa was allegedly Ozzy's secret lover in the mid-1990s. 30 years later, her name appears in his final will with instructions to receive a private property in Devon, England, and a trust fund for a child whose paternity is still unknown. Is Ozzy hiding a secret love child? Sharon has neither confirmed nor denied the existence of that child, but sources say she is angry not only because of the betrayal but also because this new heir could legally challenge the official distribution of Ozzy's estate. But that's not all. Tucked away in the second will were odd provisions that prohibited the use of his voice or image in AI-generated concerts, a growing trend in the music industry, and that demanded that none of his music be sold to companies or streaming services that support violence or soulless technology. The most bizarre, though, was probably when Ozzy asked that only a certain MJW be allowed to access a private vault of unreleased music and letters. Fans of Initials have been frantically trying to decipher this, and now Sharon is sitting on a ticking time bomb because a legal battle is brewing and everyone is dying to find out who Clarissa Dale is. For decades, Ozzy and Sharon Osbourne were rock royalty, and their turbulent, public, and intensely devoted love story became the stuff of tabloid legend. However, a new rumor has emerged since Ozzy's passing that may completely change our perception of their marriage. What child did Ozzy conceal, and what is in that vault? Let's go back in time. Ozzy was notorious for his wild lifestyle and string of affairs in the early 1970s, around the height of Black Sabbath's rise. Rumor has it that he secretly married another woman before Sharon and never divorced her, according to recently leaked documents and insiders close to the Osbourne circle. One of his oldest road managers, however, claims that Ozzy had a brief affair with a mysterious British woman named Rachel Langford, a model-turned-groupie who had connections to a number of other well-known rock stars of the time. The two reportedly got married in a private ceremony in Manchester in 1971, just 2 years before he met Sharon. There is no concrete evidence that Ozzy ever filed for divorce. After Ozzy's death, a woman claiming to be Rachel's cousin came forward and said that Rachel always claimed to be Ozzy's real wife, waited for him to return, and then remained silent, but never remarried, and always kept their marriage certificate. Rachel Langford's name has surfaced once more in Ozzy's will, this time under relations eligible for contact in the event of unresolved legal matters. The wording alone has sent legal experts into a frenzy because it suggests that Sharon's decades-long marriage to Ozzy may not have been legally valid if Rachel was legally married to Ozzy before Sharon, and that marriage was never formally ended, meaning she may not be the only legal widow. 3 weeks after Ozzy's death, Rachel filed a quiet petition in a London court to reopen marriage records and challenge Sharon's status as the legal spouse, according to an anonymous legal clerk. Naturally, Sharon is furious, and according to sources close to the Osbourne family, she flew back to the UK right away, shut herself off from the media, and started hiring powerful lawyers. That woman was a fling. A fling with a ring means nothing, but legally it might mean everything. If Rachel can show a valid marriage license and no divorce was ever finalized, the Osbourne estate could be thrown into a huge legal limbo. According to a family friend, she screamed, "I built his entire legacy." Fans are now searching through old photos and tour footage in an attempt to identify Rachel, and one grainy 1972 photo shows Ozzy holding hands with a woman outside a London studio. Sharon's portion of the inheritance, her authority over Ozzy's music, and even her position as the executive of his will could all be under scrutiny. The question is now very clear: was Sharon ever really Ozzy's wife, or was she living in the shadow of a secret marriage that the world forgot? This unfolding scandal has thrown the Osbourne empire into disarray, and Rachel Langford, who was once invisible, is now at the center of what could turn out to be one of the most significant celebrity estate disputes of the decade. The once boisterous Prince of Darkness was surrounded by a chilly silence in the hours leading up to his death, interrupted only by the beeping of hospital equipment and the murmurs of family members attempting to accept the inevitable, rather than by yelling fans or flashing lights. According to exclusive reports from close family insiders and hospital staff, Ozzy's last night alive was full of tension, tears, and an unexpected confession that left Sharon and the kids in complete shock. But what actually happened that night? And what were Ozzy's final words before the world lost one of rock's most iconic voices? According to a confidential nurse who was in the room with Ozzy in her last hours, Ozzy got very emotional, sobbing uncontrollably and repeatedly mumbling, "I made mistakes. Years ago I should have been honest. I don't want to carry lies inside of me." According to the nurse, who has requested anonymity, Ozzy was sobbing hysterically, particularly when Sharon entered the room. Before gently wiping away his tears, Sharon allegedly leaned in, gripped his hand warmly, and whispered something to him. With the whole family in attendance, it was at this point when Ozzy supposedly made a shocking revelation. "There's another child out there," he added. "I didn't want to die with that secret, so I didn't tell you." Although many thought Ozzy had only fathered a few children, including Amy, Kelly, Jack, and children from his previous marriage, this confession raised the possibility that another child might be out there, completely unknown to the public, and possibly even to Ozzy's estate attorneys. According to sources, that one sentence left Kelly and Jack Osbourne speechless. Sharon froze, and within minutes, Ozzy lost consciousness and slipped away. Insiders say Sharon is attempting to track down the timeline to see if there were any known affairs or flings that might have resulted in a secret child. Sharon allegedly called for the hospital room to be cleared immediately after Ozzy's death and started making a series of urgent phone calls, demanding access to Ozzy's old diaries, tour schedules, and even financial records. Even worse, Jack Osbourne reportedly sobbed as he left the hospital room after listening to his father's confession on his deathbed, shouting, "Why would he drop this on us now after all these years? Who is this individual?" Ozzy's last remarks weren't just about a hidden child though, and the drama doesn't stop there. Sharon, clearly shaken, is said to have nodded and whispered, "He forgives you too." He also reportedly asked Sharon to forgive Tony, presumably referring to Tony Iommi, his former Black Sabbath bandmate, with whom he'd had a complicated love-hate relationship. The two icons had a well-documented falling out in recent years, and many fans believed they never truly reconciled. As if Ozzy knew the death was coming, he kept saying, "Tell them the truth. Don't let the lies live longer than I did." According to one staff member who had worked closely with Ozzy in his final days, the family is now divided on how to respond to this shocking revelation. While Kelly is reportedly thinking of going public, particularly if a mystery sibling comes forward with DNA proof, Sharon wants to keep the details private. A private investigator has already been seen outside the Osbourne estate in Buckinghamshire, and there are rumors that at least one person has already gotten in touch with the family and claimed to be Ozzy's child. What did Ozzy mean when he stated, "Don't let the falsehoods live longer than I did"? Will Sharon lose more than just peace of mind if this child has a real claim to Ozzy's fortune? Could this confession lead to the collapse of the Osbourne empire? The Osbournes are left to pick up the pieces of a family that has been fractured by secrets, stretched by legacy, and is now being hunted by the past while the world mourns a legend. Even their most devoted fans were left stunned when Sharon Osbourne revealed in a moment of emotional vulnerability that Ozzy might have had a secret marriage that no one in the public knew about before Sharon. If you found Ozzy's final words and the enigmatic will shocking, this next part is straight out of a Hollywood script. It's rumored that before Sharon entered Ozzy's life and turned his chaotic rock star legacy into a media empire, he was married in a private, non-publicized ceremony during his early Black Sabbath days. Although no official documents have been released yet, some former insiders, including a backing vocalist and a longtime tour manager, have alluded to a private ceremony involving Ozzy and a woman named Margaret, a childhood friend he reportedly reconnected with during a dark period in the 1970s. Becomes intense. According to some sources, this unnamed son may be one of the hidden beneficiaries in Ozzy's will. When asked about it, Sharon didn't explicitly deny it, but instead stated, "There were things in but Ozzy's life before me that I chose not to control." This alleged woman allegedly had a son that Ozzy may have subtly supported for years. Let that soak in, since it alters everything if it's true. Imagine a hidden heir suddenly stepping into the spotlight, claiming rights to a portion of a $220 million net worth. That's not just messy, it's headline-worthy chaos. To add fuel to the fire, some fans pointed out that a mysterious young man was spotted sitting next to a long-retired former guitarist at one of Ozzy's private memorial gatherings. No confirmation yet, but Sharon's coy responses are only intensifying the rumors. And here's where it really stinks. Ozzy's most well-known children, Kelly and Jack Osbourne, are reportedly upset about the abrupt shift in the storyline. According to insiders, Kelly is particularly upset about the possibility that she might have to divide her father's legacy with someone she didn't even know existed. We'll go into how Sharon has begun to exclude Ozzy's closest former bandmates from public tributes and financial decisions, and fans aren't happy about it. But this story isn't over because, just when everyone thought they understood the Osbourne family tree, a secret branch might be ready to claim its share. In what many are describing as a daring power play, Sharon Osbourne allegedly severed communication and excluded a number of Ozzy's longtime bandmates and inner circle friends from all memorial planning, future brand decisions, and even posthumous tribute events, just when we thought the storm had passed. Geezer Butler and Tony Iommi, two iconic Black Sabbath members who supported Ozzy through decades of chaos and success, were reportedly taken by surprise when they learned they had been left out of Sharon's inner circle of executives and legacy advisors. One source claims they were not even invited to speak at the private ceremony. Fans are not having it. Social media was ablaze with outrage, with many claiming that Sharon's actions were disrespectful to the brotherhood that shaped Ozzy's legacy, and that she was manipulating history to make herself the main character in every aspect of his life and death. In a devastating turn of events, however, it was revealed that Ozzy's son Jack Osbourne is feeling more and more alienated and excluded. According to an unnamed insider, Jack was merely a spectator at his father's funeral, and was not even given complete access to financial records or will provisions pertaining to the business's rights to Ozzy's image and music library. The Osbourne family, which was once a close-knit group known for embracing their wild truth, now seems to be crumbling under the weight of legacy, wealth, and secrets. Kelly Osbourne, meanwhile, has been posting cryptic messages on Instagram that fans are taking as direct jabs at Sharon, such as "loyalty is thicker than blood and truth always finds the light." Then there's Ozzy's last words, his actual last words that were kept from the media. It's said that he recorded a private voice memo a few days before he passed away, and it's kept on a secure disk to which Sharon has access, but the family does not. Some people believe it's a farewell message to the fans. The story of Ozzy Osbourne may have reached its last chapter, but the drama surrounding his legacy has only just begun. From shocking will revelations to secret heirs, bandmate betrayals, and family feuds, this isn't just a rock star's farewell. Some think it's a confession about the alleged secret marriage, about an estranged child, or perhaps about his fears, regrets, and what he truly wanted in the end. However, Sharon is keeping it locked for the time being. Even in death, the Prince of Evil is rocking the globe to its foundation. If you thought Ozzy's legacy ended with a guitar riff and a scream, think again. It's a Shakespearean epic saturated in fame, fortune, and fire.